Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. In fact, my first episode of 2023. I've been on is it hiatus? Hiatus? Hiatus, yes, for a while. Lots of things have been happening, but I'm delighted today to be joined by the gorgeous Jennifer Countess Von Walderdorff.
Wonderful.
We got there. How are you, Jennifer?
I am really good. Thank you for asking.
Thank you so much for coming on, and my first ever countess on the podcast. So really exciting, and we'll delve more into that later on. So if you could give me a brief introduction into who you are and what you do, please.
So, as you heard, my name is Jennifer Countess Von Walderdorff with my tongue. So I'm known as a fashion specialist with a specialty in fashion merchandise planning, and now also an author. So if we talk about my new book, look at the labels. Here we are.
There we go.
Yeah, with over 15 years experience in the fashion retail industry. I'm really trying to utilize all of that information and give it back to the consumer, especially in this time and day where, the cost of living crisis has reached UK and beyond.
Yeah.
And just to give you those tidbits of information that you can use to empower yourselves when you're going out to the shops, but also if you want to just get something that you may already own in your own wardrobe, just giving you tips and tricks on how to best get the use out of your clothes.
Fantastic. So if we could kind of rewind back to your early life, your family is a big influencing factor on kind of your career choices and the way that you wanted to go. Can you start off by telling us a bit about how your love for fashion started?
Yeah, honestly, I thought my dad was like James Bond at the time. He would just, I'm not sure where he would go. I was probably too young to know, but he would just be wearing a three-piece suit. He might be going to Sainsbury's, I don't know. But he just took pride in his appearance. But it was very much the English gentleman style. Whereas my mum, she gave me that love of mixing prints. So she, had a lot of clothes still from the 70s. I was born in the 80s. And there would just be florals and checks and, lurex sheen running through things. And she just always seemed like this beautiful, colorful, bright thing in my life. And so together with both of them, I just thought, I want to, one, look as confident as my dad does, and two, just inspire and make people as happy as I thought my mum did. And so
oh my God, I love that.
Into me. Yeah, it was, I would say those two mostly. As you said, I have 6 brothers and sisters. So from a Catholic household. So there's the oldest 4 and then there's the youngest 3, how we refer to ourselves. And my direct sister, she kind of, she was a year and a half older than me, so she got a job first, did all these milestones first, and she kind of just dragged me along. So a bit of money, hey, clothes, you can wear them too. I was like, great. So it was kind of financed and brought along with my siblings as well.
Brilliant. So would you say that it was an easy decision for you to go and study something like that? Because you did was it a science degree at Brunel, everyone?
I actually wanted to be a doctor. So
did you?
I was about 10 and I said, Dad, I'm going to be a doctor. And he said, oh, very well done. Not really much for him to say about that because, I have lawyers and siblings, engineers.
Wow.
So they're all very accomplished. So I thought, and then it got to my year where you work in industry and I was like, this isn't a bit of me, is it?
Oh, bless.
So I took a year out and then after I graduated, I kind of just wanted to see what the world had to offer. I was working at the same time and someone said, did you know that you can put maths and fashion together? There's this career called merchandise planning. I was like,
wow. That sounds like a bit of me.
And yeah, over 15 years later, here I am.
Wow. So can you explain like the difference? Because people often think the fashion industry is all about like la-di-da, catwalks. It's all about kind of the presentation at the end. You deal with the stuff that kind of gets the fashion businesses to that point, don't you? Because you analyze what's going on, what would be best, this, that, and the other. How does that kind of work? Because I would imagine that it takes an awful lot of planning, essentially.
Yeah, you mentioned the key word is planning. Um, I think even my mum, she thought I was living in The Devil Wears Prada for a while. I think she
Oh.
thought I was the nerd girl with the glasses, turning up for the silver-haired meanie for a while. But yeah, as you quite rightly said, it's the glamorous part is often done by the buying team. So the buying team will, be flying around and be schmoozing with brands and
Mhm.
themselves and really figure out, how to present these amazing styles that people inevitably want to buy. But
Okay.
have to say, okay, what is the key color for this season? How many units do we need to buy across how many stores in addition to the
Right.
online store, which when I was coming up wasn't as huge as where it is today. So you had to do all this navigation towards quantities to try and sell through a certain percentage in what we call the article life cycle before the next
Right.
comes along.
Yeah,
So
'cause it's quick, isn't it?
yeah,
It's not like things stay around for long, especially with how much things change in the fashion world.
I'm glad you said that because there's not just one fashion life cycle. There is something like a white t-shirt, maybe with a signature print on it. Then if you
Yeah.
remember when roses were really in fashion,
Yeah.
everybody had roses on it.
Hmm.
So you'd get something like that, which would maybe last the entire season or half a year. But then you get like little purple roses or pink roses and little shorter life cycles just to layer on to keep a certain amount of units in stock, maybe in the t-shirt section for a given period of time. So
Okay.
constantly balancing, you need to keep checking the amount of units sold to make sure it's meeting those deadlines in time for the next one to come along. So yeah,
Gosh.
a lot of
Is
planning.
is that where you got your inspiration? Because you saw essentially, I bet it was so much wastage. I bet you because you saw it from the back end of everything and how quickly things go in a cycle. Is that kind of what started you thinking on the, do you know what? This is how we need to kind of be shopping and
Yeah, it's very disappointing because we are humans and we can make mistakes. So to see something completely miss its sales forecast, for example,
yeah.
can inevitably mean that either it has to be on sale at a percentage discounted, which is, profits for the business, but more so, it's unlikely that maybe even on discounts things will sell through because maybe the item itself was just a dud. So you could
Okay.
that pylon not just in one unit, but if you are looking from, overseeing an entire business, just how much stock, the value of that stock can be, written off, so to speak. Yeah,
Okay.
it can be disheartening for a certain type of profile, and I was definitely one of them.
Okay. What happens to all of the stock if it doesn't sell? Where does it go?
Many, many different routes, to be honest. And not one company does just one specific thing. There's lots
Okay.
of campaigns saying stop burning stock. There are brands that burn their stock because they don't want it
Really?
anywhere else. Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
awful,
gosh.
especially when there are synthetic fabrics because of what they'll
Yeah.
do into the environment.
Hmm.
You've seen the maybe pictures of landfills, things eventually just end up in landfills. Things are sold to developing countries just
Yeah.
so they can be dumped there. Whew,
Oh
just
my gosh.
nothing great, really. They're not, packages
No.
given to the homeless or
Yeah.
like charity. A lot of the ways that clothes are sold on or passed on are not great, but there is now, which is a good thing, the growth of these off-price retailers and stores.
Yeah.
So when something's completely done out of season, if you don't want to see it on that website anymore, they could be sold onto these new third parties, and then they can get one,
Oh.
70% discounts. So that's
Oh yeah. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I shop on quite a few of those. So it's like they cut the labels out if it's like a high street retailer or something, and then maybe if it's old season stock, but you can get it for a bargain, and it's
absolutely
still brilliant.
sometimes you don't even have to cut the label out. So it depends on the
Okay.
agreement you have with the brand themselves. You can buy it in perfect condition as it would have been sold if it
Yeah.
was at full retail price.
Yeah. Is it just says like X, whatever it is? I don't know if I'm allowed to say names. I'm gonna get sued. But you know what I mean anyway. So let's talk about, Jennifer, your incredible, life-changing, let's be honest, trip to Italy when you
Yeah,
were on a career break.
yeah. So I was working for the amazing Marks and Spencers, and I do mention them because they do so much for their sustainability. But
Okay.
I took the decision to just cover maternity, and I thought, oh, this is risky. What if she comes back? So it was time for me to leave. But then I really couldn't see myself going into the rat race more so and just, hedging my bets with another company, having
Yeah.
worked something which was so amazing. So I did. I decided to pack my bags and just say, I love Italian clothes. I love Italian leathers. I love Italian. I love the history behind Italian mills and the way they treat their leathers and animals. And so,
Okay.
oh, and the food is great too.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
So I really just packed my bags, said, family, I love you. I want to see what I can do out there, learn the language. I have this idea for a book. I can go out there and just write it. I can teach English while I'm there to earn
Oh
and
my gosh.
feed myself. And let's see how it goes. And it
Were you
was,
scared?
um, when I look back on it, I actually wasn't. I'm not quite sure if someone slipped something in
Yeah.
in my water, but no, it
Sewed
was.
something in your label.
Yeah, thank you. But it was so clear what my objective was and what I wanted
Wow.
to do there. So
Yeah.
I didn't actually feel fear at the time.
I bet it was more excitement.
Yeah, I think it was adrenaline and, the prospect of this new life that I could forge
Yeah.
it.
You're so brave. I mean, there's so many people that would love to do something like that, but just don't have that. It's fear that stops us, isn't it? It's our own thoughts and our own feelings of the what ifs, and then your brain goes into flight or fight. So you literally inspirational to be able to kind of pack up and just go. Did you even know anybody over there?
Yeah, I had a friend. He lived near Bologna, and Bologna, the home of Bolognese. So I'm so sorry. But he didn't live in Milan, and I wanted to settle in Milan. It was the fashion capital, and it was still
Yeah.
quite close and easy to get home in case I needed to run back.
Oh,
But yeah, he helped me out here and there. But where I was, and Milan's not very big; it's quite small. People were so welcoming.
oh,
You would
really?
look for directions. They will give you a whole lesson in Italian. Say, "Oh, I'll teach you now," and you have a little lesson, and they'll tell you
Oh,
who.
bellissimo.
It was just I just felt like I was pulled into this amazing world, and everything was
Oh,
honest made really easy for me.
wow. So let's skip to your meeting with your now husband that has made you a countess.
Yes.
How was, honestly, mind blown. I have never spoken to a countess before. Hello.
Hi there. Yeah, like we're one of those dating app success stories.
Mhm.
So I do mention it anytime I'm asked. We met on Bumble, where the
Okay.
woman is the choice. And he poses very manly. I do poses. He puts his hands on his thighs and he looks square into the camera and he's got these amazing broad shoulders. I was like, he knows what he wants. So so I scrolled on him and we were a match. And it's kind of just been like as soon as we met up in life, I was like, yeah, this is the guy. He's just down to earth, eccentric,
Mhm.
as you'd get a different kind of eccentricity in Germany, but it's
Yeah.
okay. So I was all for it. And yeah, even though we came from very different backgrounds, there was just
Mhm.
something that made us click.
Like soul connected.
Yeah, yeah, because all of the things that we connect on, they're
Mhm.
not indicative of our cultures. It's just
Okay.
it's just the way we like to laugh. It's the way the food we like to eat is not necessarily
Mhm.
Korean culture or British food, fish and chips.
Yeah.
All
Steak kidney pie.
that, we love those too, but yeah, they were just things that made us us, and
Okay.
the very special bonds that we have, and so I'm super grateful.
Oh, that's wonderful. Because you actually you met and then you moved because you were headhunted, weren't you, by the multi-million pound company. Is it Zalando? Is that how you say it?
It's Zalando, and they are multi-billion. They
Oh my
are
gosh.
moving and shaking.
Jeez,
Yeah,
oh.
didn't get to continue my Italian fantasy because
Mhm.
while I was there, I was headhunted, and so I moved here, and then it was within the first month I had met Max. So
Wow.
yeah, I didn't really get to be single in Berlin, so to speak. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. So yeah.
So it's like everything just completely clicked into place for you, like step by step by step. That's
hmm
wonderful.
I was calling myself the Carrie Bradshaw of Berlin. I,
Okay.
I've got my apartment, I got my wardrobe, and it's big. There it is.
Bless. And recently you welcomed your first child. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. He is
H-
wonderful.
how does your oh, in fact, here's a question that we haven't discussed. So your child, what title do they have?
Sorry.
Your child, what title will they have? Because if he's a
Oh,
count and you're a countess,
oh, he's a count. Oh, he's
wow.
the cutest count there is. I
Oh,
love
bless.
when I take him to the doctors. They're like, "Oh, Count von Walderdorff.
Oh, bless. Valdemort.
He needs a cake. I can't do it for Halloween."
Oh, bless you.
He's a little count.
Hmm. So let's talk about your book, Jennifer. Where did the so how was there a certain point where you thought to yourself, do you know what? The things that I'm learning kind of on a day-to-day basis in my work, the way that I feel about the fashion industry and clothes in general, was there a certain point where you thought, right, I'm going to be an author? Or did it just kind of organically happen like the rest of your life seems to have?
But you're making it sound easy. Trust me.
No, no.
No, it was easy. But to be honest, in the 2007-8, economic slump that we had,
Yeah.
I was working for a fashion brand, and it was there that I realized that people were just buying too quickly. And so I
Okay.
started a fashion company called Cheeky Poppin' Shoe Clips. And the
Hmm.
whole point was you don't need to buy new shoes, you can buy accessories to make the shoes look new again.
To jazz them up.
Exactly. And so I had this, thought process of how can I do something that I love and be
Hmm.
in keeping with fashion, but also helping people. I don't know if you're
Yeah.
naive, but I do feel like I was made to be someone to help. Hence wanting to be a doctor, which didn't
Yeah.
pan out so well. But yeah, so that has now dissolved. And then I said, okay, because I worked in all these fashion houses, I had too many clothes. So I was like, oh, let me sell them, but under a brand. And I called it New with Tags. So you could buy all these,
Okay.
they were new with tags, pre-loved of the
Yeah.
of a decade ago, but that didn't move so well. So it was just a thought process that was in my mind. How
Yeah.
can I best serve people with all the knowledge that I have? And
Hmm.
I've been writing because I'm an absolute fan of the movie industry. So I've been writing reviews for movies and companies for almost the same time the past 15 years.
Wow.
And so I love writing. I love putting it into print, like my, again, it's
Thoughts.
sensibility. Yeah.
Yeah, it's therapeutic though, isn't it? Sometimes,
It is.
even if it's reviews,
Yeah,
getting that out there is really it's like a healthy thing to do, isn't it?
100%. Just the same as if you wrote in a diary.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely loved it and I love to write. And so yeah, it kind of did. Maybe again, I'm making it sound easier, but I okay, all of this knowledge, I could probably help people by giving them something they can potentially put in their handbag.
Yeah.
And if they go into the shop, they're like, what did she say again? See, I've got,
Look at the labels.
I'll bring out my book. It needs to be an app, really. But yeah, I'll bring out my bought my hard copy and I'll reference just to help people to say, hey, this tag says 50% recycled, but they're not talking about the clothing, they're talking about the paper ticket attached. And
Really?
that's the type of greenwashing that some brands will be as low as to do.
Oh my God.
Yeah, read the fine print. You will see that it's actually talking about the labels, the tags, not
Mhm.
the item. And so you'd be like, oh, great, I'm doing something for the environment,
Yeah.
take money. And I just wanted to stop that happening. I just wanted to
Mhm.
reduce people going in that direction or going to purchase these goods because then eventually the brands will clock on and reduce their quantities or eventually just stop trying to use these tactics.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's a lot that can be said about not always buying new as well. I mean, we had a quick discussion, didn't we, about, our love of charity shops. I think it's really important because to me, not only are you buying something that's new to you, you're
Mhm.
also helping charity. So really that, it's win-win situation, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. As you said, we mentioned that sometimes I think there's still a stigma attached to charity stores,
Yeah.
and it really is like we are not the charity, but we're giving back to a charity.
Hmm.
Suspicious of a guy standing on the street saying, "Hey, you want to give me your bank details?" And
Do you know they have like little card machines now? When people say I've got no cash on me, they whip out a card machine.
this is intense. But in case you are a little bit suspicious of those guys with automatic machines, charity stores are a great way to go. There's everything from developing countries to, heart diseases, cancer.
Yeah.
There's almost anything out there in a brick and mortar store or online now these days where you can give back. And instead of thinking, oh, how can I be more sustainable? There's
Hmm.
all these stores that are sitting there waiting for you to make a
Exactly.
purchase. And as you said, like the price points on them, they're almost giving things away.
Yeah.
There was a hint someone sent me at one point, told me even, and they said just look into the literally the geographical area of where you want to go to a charity store because they look a lot different in Peckham than they do in Notting Hill, for example.
Okay.
If you're looking for something maybe a little bit more extravagant, maybe go to
Hmm.
central London or North London, Camden Town, and
Yeah.
find something more indicative of the area that you
Hmm.
might want to, buy an investment piece or something, 100% wool or pure,
Yeah.
something, maybe a brand that you enjoy, whoever.
Hmm.
So yeah, but there's, as I said, pre-loved. So there's multiple pre-loved companies out there, online and in store. But the online retailers are just now they're exploding. A lot of them
Yeah.
also with luxury to mid-range brands to kind of get
Hmm.
people in. You would be happier to see Adidas or Burberry than
Yeah.
maybe to a fast fashion brand as a
Hmm.
come shop with us.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's the off-price market, there's the pre-loved, there's the giant stores, something something max.
Whatever could that be?
You can basically fill your house with everything in that place, and it's all off price, it's all at a
Mhm.
price. So there's a lot of other ways to go other
It's
than
about being savvy, isn't it? Savvy shopping.
yeah. And I know like because we're both mums, so not everybody
Hmm.
has the time to go going one by one in a rail, sure, but that's
Yeah.
where you mentioned filters. And so if
Hmm.
you've only got time to shop online, even if it isn't off price, make those filters work for you. If you
Yeah.
need a dress, what color looks good on you? Do you need a wrap dress? Are you trying to nip in your waist? Do you,
Hmm.
I don't know, what length must it be? What sleeve length? What neckline? All these things now on websites are adapted to what we need. It will be a
Yeah.
lot faster to sift through 10 dresses than, I don't know, thousands that
Yeah.
most websites have of one particular category.
Because it can feel overwhelming sometimes, can't it, online, especially when it just comes up with so many different options and you end up just scrolling and then you just think, and then your confidence goes, doesn't it? It's like, oh, no, I won't look nice in that anyway. It'll be my belly or my legs or, yeah. And then you just give up. And then
Yeah,
you end up buying something just for the sake of buying something, don't you? And
it is.
then instantly regret it as soon as you get it home.
I mentioned it on my Instagram as well, the shopping for the compromise. And it's where, maybe you have this idea in your head, I want this specific thing, but often that idea is often a fantasy. Because
Yeah.
you make fashion collections based on anyone's imagination. So you have to make do with what's available. So really do like use the filters, but also in my book, look at the labels. I give advice. So I don't say that if you have, an apple shape, you must nip in your waist with a wrap dress or you must
Yeah.
create hourglass. But if you want to create balance and if you want to achieve certain aesthetics, then these are the things that will help. But
Okay.
body is important for going out for the clothes that you want. Because if you have got wonderful hips, like still aspire to have, and you're trying to fit into some straight leg jeans, they're not curvaceous people. And so
No.
you hurt your self esteem by trying to shove them up, knowing that they probably weren't made for you anyway.
Yeah.
So it's more so understanding why they have made these clothes, why there's no elastane in the straight, the straight leg jeans.
Thank
And
God for a last day.
you need the stretch, right? So it's more so to help that these are the types of clothes that are made for this body type. So
Yeah.
if you want to lean towards that way, you'd have higher success rate of them fitting you well. And it's
Hmm.
the well-fitting clothes that make you look great.
And make you feel great, which
Oh,
in turn makes you look great because you carry yourself in a different way when you feel like you look good, don't you?
100%. You stand a little bit taller, your
Mhm.
back's a bit straighter, your shoulders aren't so
Yeah.
definitely confidence isn't something that you know should be mistaken for, oh, it costs €1,000 or pounds,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look great in it. Like
Mhm.
never the case. Well-fitting clothes can make you look like $1,000,000, and
Yeah.
that's definitely the case.
Yeah. So the amount of times I've been to a charity shop and I've found like maybe I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but the famous brand with an R and an L, with the horse, tally ho. Um I found like a coat or something. It's like, oh my God, it's one of those. I need to buy it. But then I'll buy it. Yes, it's cheap. Yes, that's brilliant. But it just looks crap on me. So it's like, why did I bother? I think you get drawn in by wanting to have those labels when, like you say, if you're more thoughtful when it comes to things like that and really shop for your shape. Oh, tagline. Then it makes you feel better, doesn't it?
100%, and I'm glad you said that because I rely on certain brands because in general they cater to my shape.
Yeah.
My shape has changed after the baby, so I'm not shopping there so much anymore. But definitely, I was kind of staying within my like cubby of areas where I knew I would not be so disappointed.
Yeah.
But it's hard, and well, for some women, not all, but having to now find, okay, where do I go now? My
Yeah.
clothes are different. These things no longer look the same.
Mhm.
Should I just, accept it and
Mhm.
look a little bit terrible for a little bit of time? So I always say utilize your village,
Yeah.
utilize your friends, your family, online, anyone who you trust. Ask them, hey, where did you shop after having a baby? Or
Yeah.
into an online search
Mhm.
after a baby. Like I used to,
Oh,
my sister, she just used to Google things. Like,
yeah.
"Oh, I need a pair of tan boots. She put it into Google. It's like, this isn't how people shop, but how I shop. She was ahead of her time. Trust me.
Ah,
You can really just let all of this technology work for you, but also utilize your friends and family. Even my sisters, if there was anything left, they've given a lot of their maternity clothes away, unfortunately.
ah.
It's a bit older, but like, hey, I'm having a kid. Got anything left with a stretchy waistband?
Yeah.
It's
I'm sure I still actually wear stretchy waistbands most of the time.
literally do, and they are so comfortable
Mhm.
that I feel no shame.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who cares? Like you say, if you feel comfortable and good, then you will look good at the same time.
Definitely, as long as they're fit for purpose. I
Mhm.
bumped into my friend yesterday. She was like, "Do you like my new shoes?" I was like, "Yeah, they're great." And I looked at them. I was like, "They're kids, aren't they?"
Yeah.
she's a grown adult,
Oh,
but they fit. And I was like, "Well, power to you. They make
yeah.
kids that fit you. You don't have to feel shame walking into a kids section. The size is
Mhm.
the size. doesn't mean if you're not a child up to this age, you may not
Mhm.
shop here.
But
So
then there's still part of us, if she's not had kids, there's still part of us going, oh, cow, fitting into kids' clothes. Those were the days.
would be nice. But yeah, like it's just the marketing that brands give us is there to help. I call it a
Mhm.
guidance, but they should not be a rule of thumb. I've basically stolen my husband's tie. This is my favorite tie of his, so I wear it.
Loving that.
I love it as a gift from his. It's Hermes, so I just feel a bit luxurious when I wear it.
Yes. No charity shop for you.
But it's true though. Like, okay, I can't shop in a men's store because it says poor homme. I don't think so. So within reason, as long as it's fit for purpose,
Yeah,
I the marketing is there as a guidance and really just wear what makes you feel good.
yeah, definitely. So we touched upon Jennifer earlier on before we started the recording with you becoming a mum and things have changed for you. So am I right in thinking that maybe on the horizon might be something else surprising after look at the labels?
Yes, you're definitely right.
Halfway through that sentence, I was like, oh, geez, should I have said anything? Could you sense the
Absolutely.
fear in my voice? So, oh, God, give me a signal or a sign.
Yeah, because I was actually thinking about it anyway whilst I took the year out to look after the kids. So
Mhm,
it's a lot of thinking time during those early naps when he's
mhm.
sleeping a lot. And it was just, you speak to your midwife, you speak to your friends, you speak to anyone who's had any experience of having a child.
Yeah,
And the same thing kept coming up. Try not to get new clothes. The more worn and, weathered, so to speak,
yeah.
cotton are just better because they're softer on the baby's skin. They would have washed out any chemicals that may have been a residue from when they were
Okay.
factory, and just simply they've if they've lasted that long, they're definitely going to work.
They're going to get obliterated and crash test dummied, aren't they? Let's be honest.
They have been tried and tested. And so, looking into, okay, if I don't get organic cotton, what other, what's the likelihood that there will be pesticides or toxins in the regular cotton that they
Okay.
use clothes in? What about the mix of polyester? Can I even recycle these? Would I want to give these to anyone? Like, there's just so many things, and I'm an analyst by nature, so I'm just
Mhm.
racking up these questions to one day, as I said, put into a model or an app and just be like, tell me the answer, Jeffrey.
Ah, congratulations.
So it's definitely food for thought. And with having a child, there's so many expenses alone having the child.
Yeah.
It would be great not to then rack up a clothing bill to add to that. Whereas there are these other routes, and it wouldn't just be these are the fabrics that are best for your sensitive skin on your child, but
Mhm.
also not everybody has a village. So
Yeah.
I had my little baby here in Germany, and my whole family's in the UK. So it was
Ah,
easy to be like, hey, sis, I've run out of bodies. Go into your
yeah.
space station, get in the car and run them over to me. So finding my village was difficult. And they have, family centers here and a lot of different areas where you can actually physically go somewhere and be like, hey, I'm having a hard day, or get
Oh,
advice on how to, best care for your child or what to
yeah.
put on their skin or what does that look like on your skin.
Mhm.
Yeah, just having a rapport with, parents. I would say parents, not just mothers, because
Yeah.
it's really a mixed group. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of food for thought to get people away from thinking, oh, I need to buy the whole of something or us. Get, all of these things straight off the rack and just find the other ways. Because as we said, there's still charity stores as well. There are
Mhm.
charities and organizations that are there to help parents.
Yeah,
And
definitely. And especially I think now that you've had a child as well, you can probably see, when people buy you all of these brand new little cute baby clothes, and it's like They don't ever wear them. Just kept me the long bodysuits for them, and I'll just keep washing them and washing them.
Washing
It's
them.
such a waste, isn't it?
It can be. It's really disheartening. But as I said, like there's a lot of opportunities here to um just give boxes of clothes. And I've done that
Yeah.
with my own clothes. I've worked in fashion retail for literally it's coming up to 20 years now. I have
Wow.
clothes everywhere. Like I have clothes in my mum's cellar still at home in the UK.
Oh,
I have clothes in our storage area here. I'm still trying to find, oh, will I wear that? Probably not. I give it to my nieces or nephews, you know.
okay.
I still swap clothes with my friends
Mhm.
here. So again, I'm not a size 8, 10 anymore. So some people say a
Damn it.
permanent sayonara.
Yeah.
But I'm still cleansing, and that's just years of some unhealthy shopping habits that I've had.
Mhm. I think it's about a new chapter when different things happen in your life that are major life events, like having a child and moving to a different country. It's kind of almost about letting go of the old you and then kind of embracing the new you. And a lot to do with that is clothes as well, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. So, I've always said like how you present yourself to the world is how you kind of want to be treated. And
Okay.
well, let's just say the older I got, the longer my my skirts became. So yeah, there's an evolution you can call it of yourself during these life events.
Mhm.
Also, you say you can't change a person, but people do evolve. And so it was a case where I just wasn't into, short skirts anymore or deep V necklines,
Yeah.
or, spaghetti straps during the day.
Yeah. And those zigzag choker things, what we used to have,
When mine
zigzag
was
partings.
zigzag. Oh gosh, elastic bands in my hair. Yeah,
Yeah, those little twisty gems that we used to get as well.
yes, I would love to see a picture of you 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of these things you do have to evolve. And so your wardrobe choices can evolve with them.
Mhm.
You do see some people who are kind of just like stuck in an era or
Yeah.
in a time and they can't really get themselves out of it. So I do hope, like, just by reading my book, they can just say, okay, maybe this doesn't fit me quite as well as it used to, or maybe
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the other half of my wardrobe. Like, even if you took the clothes that don't fit or you just don't like anymore, there's always the option to sell it. So
Yeah.
you have sites where you can sell it. You've got, good old eBay. You have to mention eBay because they've been around for donkeys. But you've
Mhm.
got other ones that are just more localized to clothing and fashion and lifestyle. So you
Yeah.
can sell them, get yourself, I'm not even going to call it pocket money because the amount of stuff that I sold to make room for the baby, like, it was,
Oh, cha-ching.
yeah, but I used it on the child and then I had all this wardrobe space for him as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can sell clothes on, get some of that money, and then reinvest it in yourself.
Yeah,
So
it's almost like an emotional cleanse, isn't it? Because I think a lot of the time clothes hold on to so much,
they
even
do.
even if it's, oh, I wish that I could get into that, or one day I'm going to get back into that, or I really like that, but it just doesn't suit my shape right now. We have all these emotions attached to clothes, don't we? That it's hard to kind of let go of.
Definitely. Like, it's like jewelry or you have emotions and memories, like almost
Yeah.
like into the item itself.
Mhm.
So yeah, it can be therapeutic to just, let go and move on. But there's also, my husband teases me a lot. I have some memory boxes. And so
Okay.
there are some things, bulky things that do make their way into a memory box if I just can't, part with it.
Yeah.
So not to say that I give you this advice and then you start, trolling me 5 years down the line saying, I get my favorite turtleneck. you. But really just see what you actually do not need and what isn't, allowing you to move forward in life.
And
And
what's not serving you, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. Like I love Marie Kondo because she was really like, hold it close. If it doesn't bring you joy, let it go. And
Oh.
it's very simple, but my friend came over to my apartment and we just did that whole Marie Kondo thing.
Mhm.
Went through everything. A lot of things gave me joy. So,
Keep pile, keep pile.
but it was a nice habit, and now I have done
Mhm.
it always annually, just to make sure that what
Yeah,
I have is right. And if I do get anything new, it's usually to either fill holes that I think I need, or
yeah.
to is something which is really no longer fit for purpose.
Okay. Do you know when you said that you had your friends over to your apartment? It sounds like so much fun. How old are we getting where that kind of thing just sounds amazing?
I have to say I remember it fondly, because if
Mhm.
you saw the state of my wardrobe before she had come, it was like it was pretty shocking, but I had allowed it to kind of get out of control. But it
Oh,
was it was nice because I know what I like and I know what I
mhm.
want. But also during that time she was like, "Oh, this is gorgeous." And I was like, "Oh, if I just like it. So if you really love it, you
Hold
should
it
get."
close. Get that joy and it's yours.
But it was great, and I was happy things going to a happy home.
Yeah,
The thought of them eventually ending in a landfill, or the bin somewhere, or in a developing country, which is really my the worst case scenario for me.
yeah, definitely. Oh, Jennifer, I could talk to you all day, honestly. So what's coming next for you? You've touched upon obviously you want to do another book. What else can we expect to see?
Well, if you follow me on my Instagram, so Jennifer underscore Walderdorff, you will just see a lot more hints and tips.
Mhm.
So I really am using the look at the labels as a brand in itself, and I do
Okay.
eventually want to start doing some events. So there's a lot of
Amazing. I'm there.
yay! So there are a lot of clothes swapping events and just ways that you can educate people a little bit more about, as I said, greenwashing in general, the
Yeah,
labels applied, really understanding the investment. So if something's dry clean only, you're not just paying the price tag, but you're also paying X amount of years
yeah.
on top. And so just having these little tidbits, maybe some sort of event with some styling advice as well, just to
Mhm.
have people really feel empowered when they get dressed in the morning. So this
Wow.
that we're workshopping, and as well as that, yeah, I'm thinking about the follow up to look at the labels of the book.
Whoop, whoop. Exciting. Yeah, so I will pop the links into your website and to your socials in the description underneath the podcast. But yeah, I would like to say thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute joy. And hopefully I will see you back in the UK soon.
Yes, I think I will be there next month. I'm there almost every 2 months. So
Okay.
definitely I'll make a I'll holler.
Yes, definitely. Let's go for a coffee and we can swap some clothes.
Oh, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on, Jennifer. It's been an absolute pleasure. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.